I told y'all, we got the game on lock. Crank Lucas the rap deucer. Team Real Racing. Y'all already know we won. Off-road racing, quick as in the desert. To the finish line, passing through the checkers. It's Team Real, we just much better. When we on the track, we apply that pressure. People lined up screaming from the sideline. When they see the UT class fly by, or they see me in the truck doing drive-bys, in the Parker Dam or in the Baja. Every time you see me rolling through inside a buggy, and I'm counting up the money, cause I came to multiply it. Push a 1200 horsepower in the motor, you don't really wanna race me, I dare you to try it. Started up the engine, now my wheels on fire. Zooming through the track while I'm burning up the rubber. Better get them slow waves out of my water. You don't wanna see the shark or there's a crusher. It's Team Real, y'all know what the biz. Crank Lucas and I'm spinning on the wheel. Doing 160 past you so fast when the wind hits your body, get the chills. Telling everybody they can eat my dust, but I guarantee you won't beat my best. Popping champagne when I'm at the finish line and I'm holding up the trophy and I beat my chest. What first place look like? It's me. I don't do twos and I never met a three. People know the Team Real logo when I'm running through the desert and I'm running all through the streets. Never have to cap my race game tight. My vehicles can go all night. Foot up on the gas, I can never break right because I'm allergic to all the red lights. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they gotta race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit the motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubble. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they gotta race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit the motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubble.
You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's four wheels, two wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth, and check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
Once again, reigning supreme, Connor Barry, the three-time iRacing Short Course National Series champion.
One thing I would like to tell my competitors is the job is not done yet.
You can see that Luke Canutt wants to end the season on a high, did not want the fight to end like this.
Second place in the championship, but that's not over yet.
But the championship leaders banging and rubbing doors on the run towards the line. Oh. Connor Barry tried everything. Experience from the real world to the virtual as well, because then Dashley makes a mistake.
It's going to be a new Dashlette this year, so hopefully this means that I'll be running up front more.
and history made. Team Gold and Briley on top.
One thing I'd like to tell all the competitors for 2025 is watch out, Team Gold's coming.
The 2-year wait for victory lane may continue for Keaton Swain.
Winning is important. I show up to win, so obviously winning is everything.
Nearing the halfway point in the 2025 iRacing Short Course Pro 4 Series, we head to the bull ring and maybe a championship-defining round as we come to you live on RaceSpot TV from the Firebird Motorsports Park. Hello everyone, welcome along our Juna Kanki party alongside the voice of off-road Dave Arnold. Don't forget today's coverage brought to you by our title partners, APV Simulators and Team Real Racing. Dave, we had a lot of fun last week. Well, I did. You had computer issues, but the Triple Crown event was a blast. Now it's a little bit more back to the norm as we head to another bull ring.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that, but I'll tell you, I'm excited. This is one of my favorite tracks out here. Even though it's, it's tight, it's windy, it gives us some of the best racing out here. So I'm really excited to be back, especially coming here, being part of the Triple Crown. Bummed I missed the first one, but let's see how it's going to turn out here. It's going to really set the tone here. Connor, it was a heck of a run last week, but we'll see what he can do here at Wild West.
We'll take a look at how the championship standings have shaken up after that Triple Crown format. But let's not forget, next week we'll reach the halfway mark of our championship and we'll hit the streets of Long Beach for the very first time. That's going to be wild. Before then, the back half of the season sees us return to things familiar, all of course ending at Crandon 10 wide, hopefully to crown our champion on May 21st. A long way to go though before we get there. Let's take a look at those championship standings because Barry now has a not insignificant advantage over Keaton Swain with Nicholas Dashley and then Luke Canup, Cody Winicki, the rest of the top 5. Dave, ultimately though, we're still very early in the season. The fact that Connor has had 3 wins in a row is propelling him at the top.
Yeah, it's tough when you're out there and you're running, to maintain that. Now everybody expects you to win. Sometimes it can put a little pressure on you. I think Connor can handle it, but Keaton Swing, he's due to come out swinging again here. And Luke Canup, this is his backyard. This is his backyard track, so I expect to see good things out of him. But at any one time, Winicki, Countryman, Edmondson, they could be in the run. They're a little deeper back there, but this race, I think it's going to be a lot of pressure on Connor with that points lead. So everybody else just going to be basically having to worry about driving.
Interesting for Keaton as well. Given he missed round 2, his drop round already used, he can't afford any slip-ups. Let's take a look at the team standings as well. New for 2025, of course. Channel 199 Sim Racing starting to break away, but given that Swain and Dashley are 2nd and 3rd in the driver standings, they propel themselves up to 2nd as well. Team Golden, Racecraft Academy sit slightly further behind, but Dave, remember, some of these teams have got multiple drivers, 4 or 5 in the field. Only the top 2 will score points. Helps that Channel 199 Sim Racing just seem to finish up towards the front all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, they got a strong team out there. These guys are always up there in the top 5, pretty much come out swinging. But Factory Sim Sport, they're not that far back. I wouldn't count them out. And Team Gold Esports, we're still early in the season. I mean, we haven't even got to the halfway point. So these numbers, yeah, they could be a little scary and intimidating looking at them. But I really think these teams are going to give a real good battle all the way to the end.
It's a fun addition to the calendar, that is for sure, on our suite of championships. Let's dial in tonight's format then. As mentioned, back to things more familiar. Qualifying has just gotten underway, 10 minutes on the board and 4 laps for the drivers as they work around the facility by themselves. Then we'll get underway for 4 individual heats, the top 4 to advance directly from the heats into the main event. Those are 6 laps. They'll fly on by before we get to those LCQs. Pandemonium, only the top 2 to make it to the back of that main event, where one thing that's always interesting, Dave, the caution at the end of lap 11 packs up the field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to love the comp caution. It goes back to Baldwin back in the original core off-road racing. They would get so far spread out So we figured halfway we'd put them back together, and boy, oh boy, did it make it exciting. Now we're seeing new strategies come into it. I mean, there's a whole other game than just running a race from green to checkered.
I really like it as well, because it means that if anyone's slightly further back, they get that chance as well to get a lap back if you've gone down on the initial start of the race. Look at our power rankings, where new for this week, Drake Mittag and Brody DeShore propel themselves forward. Keaton Swain's +3, Thad Countryman in third is +2, but Connor Barry, Luke Knupp sit atop the point power ranking standings. What I will say as well, Dave, is we talked to both of them post-race, and they both said they enjoy Firebird, so I think we're going to be in for something fun between the two of them here.
Oh, absolutely. They've both had success in real life as well as the virtual world. So this is a track that's near and dear to their heart for sure. But it's challenging. You know, when you get up there and you get in that turnstile after Luke is asleep, you know, it can get gnarly into that tight right-hander. Only one right-hand turn, and everybody tries to get down the inside. So it's going to be a lot of door-to-door action.
As mentioned, qualifying already underway. Lap time is going to be just under 35 or so seconds. Mittag, remember, on the power ranking board for the first time. He was momentarily on top before 27 thousandths. Cody Winicki finds a bit more time. Zachary Drapkin returns after a suspension last week. He's up to first right now. Still waiting for Barry, Knupp, and Swain to be on the board.
Yeah, he's looking good there, Zach Drapkin. You know, he's probably put a lot of time in. He's probably watching, and I bet you he's been running Firebird quite a bit just to get it into his blood right now. He's looking to get his first win here too, and he's looked like he's doing pretty good. But I'll tell you, Nicholas Dachelet's looking very quick, and then you got Winicki, and then Drake Mittag, like you said, he made it into the power rankings. This kid's hungry.
Which is always a sign, like you say, of the hunger and hopefully momentum as well. Racing is so mental, right? So momentum can be a big thing. You can see on the left, pit, meaning a lot of these drivers have bailed back to pit lane, reset, and will head back out there. Maybe once a couple more drivers have put themselves on the board and they know what they have to do. We're still waiting for some of the big names, let's not forget. Tom Grady up to 8th as in through the whoops. This will be out through the final corner for Kyle Cooper in the number 73. Jump and cross the line. 34.093 to beat. It's only 35.011 down the order.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sun, the shine that these guys got to deal with. That's something in real life these drivers used to complain about, whether it was early morning or late afternoon. That sun, you know, rises in the east and sets in the west, and you're going both angles there, so you get it right in the face. And I can see right there the sun. When you're racing in those conditions, it's tough. Boy, so it looks like early morning right now.
I was looking on social media today, and someone was saying, I forget on what it was, there's a button you can click to make the glare look less bad. If only you had that in the real world as well.
Well, you do. That's a 10 advisor.
True. Touche, as some would say. Out of the final corner, Keaton Swain still yet to put a time on the board. 34.128. So he's finally put himself onto the pylon. 5th only, though, as Luke Knupp on top. Where's Connor Barry? Still waiting for him inside that top 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see Connor up there. He's waiting back there. I mean, Luke, look at this. He already went out there. Like I said, this is his backyard, literally. You know, and this young man, you know, he's turned a lot of laps in real life there, too. So not surprised he's up on top. But Zach Drapkin, not far back. I mean, we're talking the thousands there. Blink of an eye, but it looks like Connor, he's ready to get this one going. Let's see if he can break the, you know, the top 3 on this one, just one run.
It's a bit wide. That's not an ideal run, and so maybe this is just him setting up for what will be another attempt here as he goes out wide through the final corner. Love as well, don't forget, 3 medals behind him representing each of the wins so far in 2025, and hopefully they're not going to go all to Connor Barry. Someone else will get a medal on their trophy collection before the end of the season.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not going to say he's going to be selfish, but if he can, that's okay. But, I mean, I've never seen anybody have a perfect, you know, season like that, you know, really with nothing going wrong. You know, there's always one or a few missteps, but, you know, there's a lot of races still to happen here. You never know.
He's almost 10,000 I rating, which means he's driven a lot in the virtual world. This is going to be a good time. Oh, 34.039. That should be pole position. I don't quite know the margin, though. We're talking a blink of an eye between the front row.
Yeah, I was trying to get that, but you can see it says Luke that's in the pit. So, all right, there we go.
5 thousandths of a second between Barry and Knupp. Now, they'll race in different heats, so Barry will be pole in heat 1, Knupp will be pole in heat number 2, so we're going to have to wait till the main event to see them out on track together as Drapkin goes back out in the red line, all 56.
And Drapkin probably the way he's sitting right now, and he'll be that third one, so... You know, that's going to be interesting, you know, with these guys. Oh, look at this. Keaton Swain came out swinging. And he's not far off the pace there. And look at Connor, just bettered his time.
That is remarkable. The only driver to get down below the 34s, 33.918. Now, he's still got 4 minutes to go, so there could be an opportunity for some to improve. But remember, these are short laps, and so you only get 4 attempts out there in the qualifying session. So I think some of these drivers may be just sitting and waiting. There is Keaton Swain. Connor Barry told me this, by the way. I didn't go and look it up. 1,131 days since Swain won in the short course national series. Second, though, in qualifying for him. He's 1,000th quicker than Luke Knupp.
Did you have like a bottle of salt you want to pour on that wound for the guy?
Oh, I feel so bad bringing it up, but Connor tells me, so I say it, you know?
I know it's. I'll tell you, Keaton has a fire lit under his keister right now. I mean, he just got to get that monkey off his back. I mean, he's a podium driver. He knows how to win. It's just now finding that little bit of luck, you know, because man, when you get out front and you got Connor and Luke out there, those are tough drivers to pass. I mean, even Drapkin, Dashalet, Winicki, Matag, you know, we know in turn 2 when they come around on that start, they're gonna back up in there. They're gonna be 3-4 wide through that section. They're all fighting for it.
I think for Luke Knupp as well, given that it's almost 30 points off of the championship lead, might expect him to start being a bit more physical, a bit more aggressive. We've got 2 more of the Triple Crown of formats coming up this season as you take a look at Knupp in the APV Simulators number 5, the Team Gold entry. The Triple Crown formats, though, Connor Barry won less points from the Triple Crown event than he did from round 1 and 2 in this regular format that we're back to now, because there's points in qualifying, there's points in the heat, and points in the main event.
Yeah, and then if you know, like Connor didn't win every race, you know, at the Triple Crown. So that also affects the point. Other drivers got more points for winning a race. Too, it kind of splits it up, and like you said, losing those other ones, it kind of doesn't really balance out, but man, it makes you dig harder than Triple Crown, that's for sure.
Digging hard, Tyson Miller's gone to second. The Terminator finds himself 31 thousandths clear of Keaton Swain. Nicholas Dashalet, is he going to find improvement? Yes, he'll slide in front of Zachary Drapkin, but that's it. We've still got attempts incoming potentially from the likes of Thad Countryman, Christopher Plumley, who we watch right now. It's going to be a 34.9 for him. That is not going to be an improvement, I think, from 18th on the board. We'll have to wait and see if anyone else is going to surprise us. Tyson Miller out of nowhere.
Yeah, this hasn't been Plumlee's best track. I've seen him do well at a lot of other ones, and I think he struggled here quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting. And, you know, and we just saw the pop-up there. I mean, look at the cutoff line. It's just incredible. Lindy all the way back in 16th. I'm kind of shocked on that one, too. Matthew usually runs good. Even Edmondson running, you know, 12th.
Lindy was saying that last week he had a power cut right before the racing started, so that was his night basically done. Christopher Plumley did improve, by the way. He's on his 4th and final attempt in the session, so he might be able to improve from 15th spot, but outside of that, I'm not seeing anyone else out there trying to improve, with the exception of Tyson Miller, so 2 machines to keep an eye on, as another driver just cycling around the track right now.
Oh, look at that, Tyson Miller. Wow. That's a blistering speed right there. He did well. I was kind of shocked that he bested Keaton Swain on that one.
To the line, he does not improve. He's 200th of a second slower. Christopher Plumley does jump up to 11th as the session comes to a close, but like we were saying, the margin is tight. If you go from 3rd all the way back to 25th position, Dave, we're talking 0.4 of a second right now.
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy. I mean, just a blink of an eye, the talent over the last couple of years has become so much better, so much closer competition. It could be any one time. Even Connor, he's got pressure. He's not running away with these. He showed he got beat last week, so it's possible. Here's our lineup.
He's had 3 wins in a row, though, 3 medals in a row. Can he find the 4th? He's got Nicholas Dachelet alongside. A great start to his championship, 3rd in points. Crystal King, Josh Edmondson hoping for a bit more salvation here on row 2. Matthew Lindy, Luke Zafrit will line up 5th and 6th positions. In a field of 10, Brody DeShure, Cross Kirchmeier, Jeff Ives will line up through the rest of the field. Scratch, Aidan Irvine, our great race control director, who's going to be watching on from the sidelines and getting us ready to go. He's going to quickly jump on the radio, have a quick chat with each of these drivers, make sure they're ready to rumble as well. But Dave, this is one of the shortest tracks in the iRacing short course calendar. It's going to be physical here tonight. Barry might have to be elbows out on the race star.
And I agree with you. It is, the being short track, I mean, elbows out, this is a motocross style, tight little arena cross, almost even tighter. Other than when you come out of turn number 1, everything else is just, flick the thing around. You just have that one little short straightaway, even going up through past the start finish line. That's a very short before you're already getting that truck to rotate.
Remember, we have 4 of these heats. The first 4 drivers in each will advance directly to the main event. Everyone else filtered into one of 2 LCQs, where the top 2 advance as well to the back, where we'll go for our main event. The majority of the points, let's not forget, up for grabs as well. Some of these drivers will be sitting in virtual reality, Josh Edmondson for one, but some of these other drivers have more simple setups. That's the great thing about iRacing. You can either have a super complex rig with motion and VR, or you can go a lot more basic, have a single monitor and a pedal set you can buy from Walmart for $250.
So you busted on my setup? No, I was kidding.
We all started somewhere. I've still got one of those setups.
No, and it's true. And during COVID, I mean, a lot of people were getting there. That's how they got into it. And of course, as things got more sophisticated. I mean, just the technology is just incredible, and it's rather affordable. It's not, try and go buy a real race truck.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know how much tires are in the dirt world, Dave, but a set of tires in the Porsche Carrera Cup costs you $4,000 a set, is what I've heard.
Yeah, you're close to it. Now it's actually changed. Back in the day, we ran what they call project tires.
Okay.
They weren't tires you ran, they weren't DOT. Lucas came in and worked with the tire manufacturers, because they spend a lot of money, especially if you're giving your team where you have to buy them. But they're not selling those tires. They're selling DOT tires.
Gotcha. So now everyone races on DOT tires is what I'm hearing.
Yep, that's exactly right. So you're going to be paying $300, $400 to $500 a tire.
But it's better than when it was something custom just for the series, and they can really... That's the one wonderful thing about spec racing in the real world, right? Everyone's car is almost the same, and there's one person that sells all the parts and can really dictate the price.
Yeah, and that was something that went on in the kart world, where a lot of these young drivers came from. One guy, he did the motor techs and sealed them and all that back in the junior kart days. So, but it was it was fair. And that's what I like about this, going to DOT tires. And what you got to really watch, how much traction you put down. Those tires didn't hold up. They hold up well, don't get me wrong, because they're still awesome. Let's get started here. Green.
Let's get going. The first of our 4 heats, and Connor Barry leads us, but door opened out for the opening corner. Dachelet instantly finds himself there. Barry's going to be challenged towards turn number 2. Josh Edmondson, his teammate, might come and join the fight as they stack up 6 wide. One car's flipping up and over. Barry sailing clear in the race lead.
I think that was Brody that flipped over there. But, man, talk about crazy. There was 5 wide and one doing a flip over all 5. That's crazy. King gets out of shape, gets it back into shape there. She keeps on the gas. I mean, she slid back quite a bit, but she didn't wreck out. That was the good thing. Connor Berry, how he survived that with Nick Dachelet, I don't know, because those two were literally door to door, and I thought for sure that Connor was going to have issues.
Somehow Nicholas is still second through all of that. Remember, he's race. It's third in points. It's been a great start to his championship season so far. Crystal King, Luke Fritz swap around behind, but the fight for the transfer spot sees, well, Edmondson fighting with Lindy for third, but keep an eye on Cross Kirchmeier, because as Edmondson gets a bit wide through the whoop section, might be an opportunity for that 75 to try and slingshot his way on forward. We're on to the third lap of 6 in this first heat.
Yeah, definitely. You can see that Edmondson's trying to turn the pressure on Lindy there as we're watching them battle it out for that third position. Of course, Edmondson on the bubble, sitting there in fourth, and he looks to the inside there. Lindy's going to go. He's in a great position now. See, he's going to check it up and try to go to the inside, but Lindy keeps it just tight. Got to keep that door, keep that preferred line, keep the fast speed up.
Oh, mistake though, over the whoops, a bit of a wobble there for Matthew Lindy, just shot right on him, and Edmondson didn't need that second invitation, slides his way on forward and then forces Lindy wide through that opening corner. So Kirchmeier is going to close. I was just about to say, Dave, that Edmondson could have afforded to be patient because these two were pulling away from the 75.
Yeah, that was the thing right there. That's what they wanted to get that gap, so they could have been a little bit more. But I'll tell you, Lindy's mistake cost him a lot. Now he's trying to get back up there. He's right on the tail there of Edmondson. Edmondson keeping that line. Lindy trying to look to the inside once again, but that preferred line coming out of that first turn, it's quick.
Saw some.
Let's see what he's going to set up here.
Saw some aggression into turn 1 from Edmondson, not wanting to leave Lindy a chance to go back around the outside. I think that's going to be a theme as we work through the course of the night. Just got word from Race Control. Our invert for the main event is 8. So Connor Barry and Luke Knupp are actually going to line up on the 4th row of the grid. That's going to be quite exciting. Crystal King, there's a bit of contact both with Brody Desure and Cross Kirchmeier. All this does, though, is drag these drivers away from those top 4 transfer spots.
Yeah, I was surprised that they got on the binder so hard there. Kirchmeier, it's kind of crazy doucher, but King, she kept it cool. She looked like she's quicker. Well, just as I say that, looking on the inside, trying to challenge. There you can see some of these drivers. Oh, big contact. But some of these drivers are quicker in some sections than others.
3 wide that worked out towards turn 2. Crystal King's up to 5th, but that's really going to be more bragging rights between these drivers because the front 4 relatively unchallenged after the drama up at turn 2 on the opening lap. Connor Barry survives through all of that. First in heat number 1, Nicolas Tachelet only a couple of car lengths behind all the way to the very end. Edmondson and Lindy will do enough to move their way on forward as well. While King, Kirchmeier, Desure, Safrit and Ives have the unfortunate pleasure of a fight through the LCQs. You can see the margin built up 10 seconds through the 9 finishes after the 6 laps, but we'll get ready to go for the second of our heats. Remember, Nicolas Tachelet with that fastest lap, putting the pressure on to the very end. Tyson Miller lines up at the front of Heat 2. He's got Zachary Drapkin alongside with bad countryman Evan McFarlane behind them on row 2. KES Industries fired off well. What can McFarlane do in the second heat? Van der Veer and Prater, 5th and 6th positions. So both Drapkin and Prater return after their suspension last week, with Tyler Shattuck, Brock Smith and Carl Cooper, the rest of the 9 trucks. An exciting field here. Remember, only 4 to move forward, Dave.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was just thinking about that. It was actually smart how Crystal King was out to get by Doucher. It's a better starting position in the LCQ. So I can see the method to her madness. But, man, I'll tell you, there's another driver I just saw there, Mason Prater. During qualifying, I'm like going, wait a minute, it didn't even really pop up or come on the radar. And this kid has always been fast, or young man, I should say now. He's from that area there, too.
They're all kids. Don't worry.
I know. Well, you've known them since they've been, 5 and 6 years old. Now they're kind of young man. I've known some of these kids, 10, 15 years. It's amazing.
It's crazy as well seeing, again, I think I said this on one of our previous events in 2025, but I watched the Mod Kids documentary. Highly recommend it. It's just crazy seeing a young Connor Barry compared to, like you say, younger man. That we have on our Zoom calls. Race Control just doing their final checks right now with every driver out on track before they let the drivers roll around. Once more, 6 laps, and track evolution here is going to be quite interesting because, Dave, we thrash around the track for so many laps. We're probably going to be putting in a decent amount of rubber between now and finishing off the main event.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to lay some blue groove on this track, especially since they're, turning and sliding so much. Turn 1, you get blue grooved out. Turn 2, you're going to start to see it develop on the inside, and that's when you start to get those marbles on the outside of these turns. And it gets a little slick out there sometimes.
Don't forget that you can grab your own copy of Boozy Jerky by heading to boozyjerky.com. I'm just trying to find the 15% off discount code iRacing Short Course, also Mark 1 Racing Gloves, IRSC5 on their website. A big shout out to our partners for supporting everything that the iRacing Short Course National Series does. We have a lot to look forward to this year. Pro 4s right now, Pro 2s coming up later on in the summer, and then our World Cup. One more thing that's brand new for this year, and we'll have plenty of excitement as we head to the conclusion of 2025. Tyson Miller and Zachary Drapkin get ready to punch the loud pedal for heat number 2. 6 more laps on the board and maybe 3 odd minutes of racing. The Terminator gets a great jump. Will Drapkin be under pressure out for the opening corner with Countryman and McFarlane behind? No, instead Drapkin's leaning on Tyson Miller. He's going to have a chance up towards turn number 2 with a nice tidy run from all 9 machines.
And you can see a great view there from Vanderveer as he looks at it going there, but it was a great move by Miller. His thought process was get out there and kind of like take that line away from Zach Drapkin. Well, Zach said, okay, fine. I'll drop it down low. And you can see that the battle is still pretty good. He's still sitting in second place. But we can see now that Countryman, now he's going to start turning the pressure up on Drapkin here. But there's a lot of footsteps. They're going to start stacking up. They come out of turn 1 once again. Turn 2. We're going to see a couple wide. I love how they just ride that berm and pounce that truck and still keep it in control.
It looks so great. Brock Smith, aggressive up the inside. He's already grabbed 2 positions so far in this race. If he can grab 2 more, it would put him into those top 4 transfer spots. McFarlane's fighting with Vanderveer in front of him. These 3 drivers dragging themselves away from the breakaway at the front of the field. Vanderveer bounces over the bobbles and holds onto it in 5th.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't have any damage. I tell you, that K-rail sitting there could rip a front end eye off. Seen it in real life, and with damage on these vehicles, it's going to show it too. It's going to react the way it is.
These trucks not having too many adjustments and updates in recent times, but these drivers still having to make sure their setups are on point. Mason Prater's just bullied his way past Tyler Shattuck for 7th spot, but he's got some work to do with half this second heat about to be in the books. It's still Miller from Drapkin from Countryman. There's no change inside of the front 5 as they sit right now.
You see Countryman right there is just absolutely focused right now. He said, all right, I see red line. I'm going after that red line oil machine. It's just, you don't want to think too far ahead. That's what these drivers do. They pick your goals, your marks, what you're going after. Okay, I'm going to hit my marks. This guy's going in this position. I'm going to drop it here. Don't worry. You're looking at a couple turns ahead. You're thinking where you're going to set it up here because you want to be over here for that next turn. That's where the battles ensue.
Let's see what Cody Vanderveer can do then with 2 laps to go. How can he set this move up? Because Evan McFarlane's just looking in the rearview mirrors now. There's no thought about moving forward. Instead, it's holding on to 4th and moving directly into the main event. Once again, bobble off the berm, up the hill into turn 2. Sun blinding them, let's not forget as well. Bit of contact, a bit of a shove from Vanderveer as he tries to open the door.
And McFarlane is smart. He's going to try and keep that inside line and see if he keeps too much speed. Oh, he does, and Vanderveer jumps down below. They're door to door here. This is for the final qualifying position coming around. Man, if he gets in and holds it for 1 more lap, he's golden.
Slight mistake from McFarlane, but he holds on. 34 seconds left to go then. The Terminator's continuing to pace the field up front. Drapkin, Countryman, not expecting them to throw any moves. They've had a very, very easy time of things, all things considered. That's a slide job from Mason Prater. He's going to bully his way past Brock Smith. Opens the door for Vanderveer to just focus forward. But will Evan McFarlane make that same mistake on this final lap? The answer is no. McFarlane will hold the inside through the final corner. It's going to take a bump and run. It's going to take a bit of physical aggression as Miller, Drapkin, Countryman up front cross the line as they are. Photo finish, but McFarlane holds on.
Man, talk about almost a photo finish there. You can see Vanderveer a little dejected there, but it was a great run. A little mistake like caused on that last lap. He had that pass too.
32 thousandths of a second between 4th and 5th. But it is the 90, the 56, the 26, and the 444 that all do enough to advance for Van der Veer, Prater, Smith, Shattuck, and Cooper. Don't forget, they'll have one more chance to fight. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the third heat, where we've got a pair of Arizona natives on the front row. Keaton Swain's about 20 minutes away from Farbode Motorsports Park. Let's see if he can do something special in Heat 3. Plumley and Winkler share row 2 with Keith Jeffrey and Adam McAfee lining up 5th and 6th positions. Eric Jones, Taylor Vandenbush, and then Solomon Borschinger through the 9 trucks. And again, 4 to make their way on forward. So remember, 4th is where expecting plenty of action to be around.
Boy, I love that overhead shot there. I mean, it just shows how tight of a track that really is. I mean, when we used to run the Cup races there with the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s, and then we had Pro Lights and Pro Buggies, man, literally there would be trucks all the way around the track. It was insane.
Might not even have enough, I can't even imagine having enough paddock space for that many machines at a track this small, but I guess it makes for a fun spectator experience as well. I think as we get into this 3rd and 4th heat, Dave, one thing that you and I know plenty, as you go through the course of the night, things just, they get more physical.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, as we get in the LCQs, you're only taking 2. Sometimes the driver's going to drive a little more frustrated. So, these guys are fighting for these top 4 positions. LCQs, gloves come off.
Well, gloves hopefully still on for the front 4 at least, as they try and hold on to their spots in the main event. Out of the final corner, Keaton Swain once more in control of the field. Cody Winicki going to try and fight his way alongside and hold on to that 2nd spot. He's been caught napping on the slot slightly, and as Swain breaks away through the opening corner, it's all action 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And McAfee rides in virtual reality with the sun in his eyes up to turn 2, but single file now between the top 2 as Winkler and Plumley battle it out down the hill.
I'm just wondering if Batman's spotting for him.
The Batman spotter pack. If iRacing, someone hasn't done that already.
It's a new pack you could
Now, which generation of Batman is what I'm wondering.
Well, Keaton Swain, though, I got to say, that's something he wanted to do. He wanted to get out front. He wants to win this one, and he wants to concentrate on the main. He knows he's got a couple drivers going to be in his way. He's still, how many days? 1,000 what?
Oh, see, now you're bringing it up. It's 1,131 days since Keaton Swain found victory lane. And what better place to do it than at home as well? We haven't seen anything inside of the front 5. Starting to see a bit more of that behind. Now, this is not ideal for McAfee as they jump their way through the whoop section, drop down to 8th momentarily, and now has to try and focus up. We're on the 3rd lap of 6.
Does his spotter go, I'm Batman, inside?
Well, I guess technically, now I'm getting very off the rabbit hole, but if it's a Batman spotter pack, do you need the psychic? Do you need Robin, Alfred? Which way do you go with that? You need someone else in your ear. See?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, Alfred could be the whisperer, that's for sure. But, oh, look at this. I see a little battle going on up there.
Still waiting to see if Keith Jeffrey's going to be able to make the move on Winkler. Now, Eric Jones has grabbed a spot in this heat, so has Taylor Vandenbush. So they're trying to close back up to these drivers, but 3 laps left to go. Have kind of seen this in the heat races. Not much in terms of action up front.
Yeah, that's right. But you see, when Nicky is actually really starting to challenge and putting the pressure on Swain right now. And look at this, Plumley trying to get up into the fight also. He's just a little gapped out, but I think when Nicky is really starting to pressure Swain a little bit. I didn't think Swain expected this.
So Winicki has had 2 consecutive trips to the main event. He missed out in our opening round of the championship, but does sit inside of the top 5 in points. Look, rearwards off of Keaton Swain. That pressure has been building, but we'll have one more lap next time to go. Plumley's there as well. I mean, Winicki's doing everything he can without starting to get the elbows out just yet.
It looked like there was door-to-door there. You can see looking to the inside now, trying to push, but Swain's going to have that inside line. Oh, when Nicky goes wide there, Plumley trying to go, but you can see he's trying to keep the momentum up, but just not enough there. Plumley's trying to get in that fight once again. You can see he's hoping that those guys battling together will slow him down. But Keaton, he drives a lot of things. He knows to focus on his marks, hit his line, You protect when you have to, but if you're running your fast line, it's going to be up to the guy to try to find a faster line around you. Put it on him.
I think Keaton may have been having a few technical issues here and there, might have made Cody a little bit gun shy, and so 1, 2, 3, 4 will finish as they are in the third heat of the night. Need a bit more action between these drivers, but it's all been action outside of the front four, and not even a reaction on the face of the 21, knowing the main event still...
He cracked a smile.
Did he smile?
The stash smiled.
There we go. We got something, at least, from Swain. Only half a second, though. You can imagine the pressure was high in the Impact Sim Sport number 9. Plumley, Winkler, they'll move forward, but Jeffrey, Vandenbush, Jones, Borschinger, and McAfee, some work to be done in what is going to be a couple of crazy LCQs. Haven't seen much contact since the first of our heat races. Does the fourth and final one have something for us? About 50 minutes away from Firebird Motorsports Park is where Luke Knupp calls home. He's got Drake Mittag for company on row 1 with Trenton Browley, Tom Grady, Austin Schreiber, and Brent Smith, the front 6 machines. We'll have 9 once again to roll out, so Dennis Mickelson, Wes Graham, and Fouad Baran get ready to go. Remembering that the track evolution will have played its part. Some of them will no doubt have been out there in qualifying, getting a feel for what the surface is like. But Dave, it's changed since the 3 races we've had since then.
You know, but I'm kind of looking at it, you know, it looks a little loamy still, you know, a little fluffy. It's not, I'm not seeing a lot of blue grooves. Maybe it's just the angle of the sun, but usually with the sun angle, you see the shine. That's where you really see the blue groove. The rubber being laid down. Kind of a blackish blue is what we call it, the blue groove.
Let's see if we'll get that sheen starting to build through that LCQ into the main event. Again, if you're just joining us and missed our brief discussion about the format at the start of the day, our main event is a 26-lap race. We'll invert the top 8, and the competition caution will be at the end of lap 11. So we'll bunch the field up and we'll send them out once again. Race Control's just having that quick chat with all the drivers before they're set loose as well. It's always fun coming here to Firebird because there's those camera angles that remind me there's a gecko watching over you if you're on the start-finish line. Gecko sits there and waits for us to go. Might just be a couple of minutes here as the radio treks finish up between the drivers and our team at Race Control. This is the benefit of being in the sim racing world, though, Dave, because in the real world, you know, you talked about being here with 4 different series at the same time. Your drivers aren't going to be going for races in the same hour, let alone probably in a couple of hour spans. You're going to have a lot of time between being in the car and getting back into the truck, whereas here in the virtual world, you can jump in every 5 minutes for a race.
Yeah, what they would do is they would qualify either the day before or that morning, and then you know, the pros, if, you know, let's say it was an afternoon race, 4 o'clock would come, and mods carts would come on, and we'd have the pro buggies, we'd have pro lights, Pro 2s, and Pro 4s. But during the day, we had UTV racing. Sometimes we had some of the UTV Production 1000 classes that were in the afternoon, but some of the classes were in the morning. So some of these drivers, you know, as they got older, you know, they had to be there all day long.
I guess you, and when you start moving between series as well, if you're only doing one at a time, then your schedule starts to change as well, which I can imagine can be a new learning experience, like first day at school vibes every time a new year begins. No first day at school vibes for these drivers, though. 3 rounds into the championship, they've got to start focusing in on that championship hunt. Luke Knupp, most importantly, already sits about 30 points behind Connor Barry. What's he going to be able to do? Drake Mittag alongside Trenton Browley, Tom Grady behind on row 2. Knupp gets the jump, and they're going to be 3 wide with a truck into the wall behind. That's Austin Schreiber that's dropped to 9th and last with a lot of damage to his machine as well. Everyone up to turn 2, though, single file as they run their way down over the jump.
Now looking up, like you said, you know, lives 15 minutes down the road. Drake has a little farther drive. I believe he's driven a couple times here, but he was still young. His brother, Doug, was racing a lot professionally, you know, from karts on to, of course, the Pro 4 category. But, you know, Drake has become one heck of a driver. There's a lot of talent. Their dad, Chad Mittag, one of the original UTV guys, you know, that really got the craze going.
And Drake, I'm pretty sure last week was flying in the Triple Crowns. That's not ideal though, as they stack up for the transfer position. Briley, Mickelson, Grady involved in this one as Knupp and Mittag now try and run away first and second. Once again, not seeing any movement inside of the top four, but through the whoop section at the end of lap number 2, Grady and Mickelson door to door on the inside for the Team Rogue number 41.
Yeah, they're definitely leaning on each other going through there. A little contact in the air, trying to establish, to try and push them wide coming through there. There's a little bit of a turn in there. Yeah, that's something the driver's got to watch. You know, that's like trying to change their position. That's not acceptable.
Well,
I'm not calling them out, but that's something the drivers have to watch.
Mickelson gets...
You want to see good, clean the door.
Mickelson gets in front in the Boozy Racing entry, excuse me. Now, there was a slight change to how these incidents are going to be judged by race control. They were all told in their driver's briefing just before we went green. The drivers no longer have to send in an incident review at the end of the race. Instead, race control is going to review every little bit of contact. That's going to be a lot of time for them at the conclusion of each of our races. Wes Graham doesn't get the chance to make it 3 abreast up to turn 2. Instead, Brent Smith clatters alongside of Dennis Mickelson and Tom Grady. There's lots of action happening right now. They're dragging themselves away from those top 3.
And there's big contact right there that's forcing them deeper into the field, out of control. Oh my, these guys can't get off each other.
I mean, if they're under control, they're on the limits, that's for sure. 3 wide off to turn 1, penultimate lap of the race. Grade throws a slide jump, holds on to 4th position, but this is costing them time. They were 1.6 seconds slower than your leaders last time around, and Brent Smith roars around the outside on the berm. He's taken 4th back, although some more contact to turn 3.
Yeah, it looks like Mickelson took a ride right over the General Tire banner there, and you can see more contact. These drivers, they're getting physical. This is something I expect out of an LCQ, but they are fighting for that final transfer position.
They heard my
call. The gloves have come off.
Yeah, I said that we were expecting a bit more chaos and carnage, and they've answered, that's for sure. Bit of fiberglass flying, but haven't seen too much of that, all things considered. 4th, 5th, 6th, all with a blanket thrown over them as they rise up to 2 for the final time. Almost cutting inside of that Geico signage there. Brent Smith is going to hold the inside down the hill for the final time. It's going to force Mickelson to now watch for Tom Grady as well. That's exactly what Brent Smith wanted to see. As meanwhile, Luke Knupp, victorious in the 4th and final heat, punching his ticket with Drake Mittag, Trenton Briley, and Brent Smith, who does just enough, advances 2 positions to make it directly to the main event.
Well, we're going to see what the stewards stay on this one, race control. Man, I'll tell you, that was a little bit more contact than we're used to. It reminds me of the early days.
Could be some points penalties handing out of that one. Knupp, 1.1 seconds. That might be the largest margin we've seen in the heat races. Mittag, Briley, Smith will move forward. Everyone else into an LCQ. We're ready to go for, remember, 2 of those LCQs. 6 more laps on the board. Top 2 to advance. And so Crystal King and Keith Jeffrey in the best positions possible, but with Brody DeSure, Taylor Vandenbush, and then Cross Kirchmeier and Eric Jones lined up behind. 10 trucks in this field, so not a immensely larger field by any means. Luke Safrit, Solomon Borschinger, Jeff Ives, and Adam McAfee. Remember, Aidan Irvine, our wonderful race control member, working behind the scenes. So 10 enter, 2 move forward, and if that last race was physical, this one's going to be even more.
Oh, yeah. now we're finally, these LCQs, which is kind of a shocker on that one. I got to tell you, you expect contact. You expect door-to-door contact, especially in the LCQs, and they're only taking 2 out of these trucks. Oh, yeah. We're coming out swinging for you.
And like I said, I can't even imagine the amount that race control is going to have to review from that final heat. At least heats 2 and 3 relatively calm. As we take a look at the 88 of Keith Jeffrey, the Channel 199 sim racing machine. Crystal King alongside. Crystal's a driver that we know can be plenty quick, but just kind of been stuck in plenty of incidents to start this season off. A good run in this LCQ, a decent run in the main event, could really kick things on in this middle part of the season. Dave, we have 4 back-to-back rounds. These drivers are going to be a bit tired at the end of April.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, it's real life training with these drivers. To be at this level, you're putting in a lot of time in the sims. Some of these drivers are actually, You're making some money doing this. So it's now, becoming, you're training for this.
I was actually just looking on social media today at a video of someone driving one of these Pro 4 trucks in a full motion simulator. To me, I don't know if I would necessarily learn a lot driving in one of those motion rigs, because it almost looks too exaggerated, Dave, you know what I mean? Where because you have to induce the sensations, it goes above and beyond to maybe shock and awe you into thinking, oh, this is so cool. This is what a Pro 4 truck looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty violent in real life too.
So what
you're getting slammed around. You're feeling jeer voices. You're fighting back. You're clenched every muscle in your core area. You're tight in the containment seats, but you're landing. I mean, it's not every time. It's not like landing in a pillow. That's one of these things. The suspension great, but it's hard. But every bump, every jar to the side, you're feeling it. So I think those motion simulators, they're coming pretty darn close.
So can someone who is 6'5" fit into one of these Pro 4 trucks?
I've seen it.
Okay. You never said I was going to be comfortable, but we'll take it. So what we're going to have to...
Well, you got to remember, everything's, these are all fabricated. These aren't production vehicles. You could buy somebody else as Pro 4, cut it up, slide the seat back a little bit, get your right seat in there, just where the pedals are at for you, and there we just fit you.
Because I've been doing some commentary with a series where they run radicals, and I am too tall to sit in the radicals. So initially I'd said at the start of the season we should do this piece on camera where I go drive the race car, compare it to the sim. Can't do it in the radical, I'm too big for that, but it sounds like if there's a Pro 4 team that's out there and wants to put me in one of the trucks. Dave, do you have any connections?
Actually, at your height, it would be a lot of modifications.
Well,
I mean, let me take it back. Doug Matag, he's probably 6'3", 6'4". Ronnie Anderson, he's tall.
What I'm learning here is that I'm getting in a constant theme of excuses that I can make for why I'm not a racing driver. It's not that I'm not talented enough. It's not that I wasn't quick enough, didn't do enough practice. No, I'm just too tall.
Okay.
I'm a racing driver. I've got my excuses ready to go.
Yeah. Hey, as I grew up, I grew out of racing open ARS series. And as my shoulders got wider, it got tougher. You ever seen AJ Foyt get in and out of an Indy car?
That's something I hadn't even thought about. But yeah, the race cars are so compact as well. That's something else that can disqualify you from jumping into one of these machines. Word from Race Control, by the way, they've just been taking a look at a bunch of things as we get ready to go. We might be reordering the grid. I'm not 100% sure, but nevertheless, finally ready to rumble for the first LCQ. I think that's one of just a few reviews they're going to have to do.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling they're going to be busy tonight.
Busy tonight, busy tomorrow. The
Yes.
lengths that people go to put on the series, it cannot be said enough about how much everyone appreciates it. It's why you hear it from our drivers every single week. Our wonderful...
What's the old saying? That's why they earn the big buck?
Exactly. Our excellent social media person, Cam, has just said, if Tony Stewart can fit in a Top Fuel car, though, I can. I don't think I'm brave enough to go in one of those, Dave. Are you?
Tony is short. Really short.
But are you brave enough to go in one of those cars?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. I don't think I could do that. But, again, sign me up for anyone that can strap all 6'5" of me into one of these Pro 4s. We're ready to go for the first of 2 LCQs. 6 laps underway, and Crystal King not hanging around. Watch for the challenge from Brody to Shore, who's trying to go for the lead. Slides onto the berm.
Right to the inside, but look at this. Crystal King's got the inside line. Can she stick her nose up there? Oh, DeSure. Oh! He cut that door and slammed it in her face.
Nicely done. It's a very, very good start from Brody DeShore, though, to hold the lead. King's going to have to be careful here because Jeffrey's already starting to get the elbows out. If the Shenandoah Shine starts to slide, it could be a one-way ticket down the grid. But a good start from DeShore. He's going to start to build his advantage at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, it looks like Jeffrey got the huckenbuck coming out of that corner, lost control, and Safford was able to jump underneath the inside. Oh, King gets pushed hard into the wall. Oh, my. That was Kirchmeier.
That was a 3-wide stack up, and now it's almost 4 all into 1 at turn 2. You can see Crystal King's not impressed as she gets on the radio and talks with her teammates.
Yeah, she's like, what the heck was he thinking? That's frustrating when that happens.
It's been that kind of season, unfortunately, for King. Borshinger's going to slide up the inside of 4, but across the line in the air. That's unfortunately Jeff Ives that's fallen off the track. He'll rejoin down in 10th. I wonder if Deshore and Jeffrey are going to be able to run away now, Dave, as the gap back to Luke Fritz starts to climb.
Yeah, definitely. They've got that little bit of a gap there with all that carnage going on. It was allowing them just to kind of pull away there. Deshore and Jeffrey, you know, they've got a little gap between them. You know, they got, you know, Safford back a little bit farther, but Safford's more worried about Kirchmeier and Vandenbush, which he shouldn't be, because your eyes should be focused just on Jeffrey. Otherwise, you're sitting on the sidelines tonight.
I think that's what we're going to be seeing, though. A little bit too focused with those building the pressure behind. Luke Fritz, it's another lap where he's lost 2/10 up to Keith Jeffrey. 3 laps to go at the line, so 2.5 as they dive down to 3 for another time. Crystal King's on the fight back, though, is now fighting back with Borschinger, tries to get the switch back into the whoops.
Yeah, nice move there. You can see the different lines that they're taking through there. Crystal King took a total different line trying to get away from those drivers, but it's a shame that she slid back all the way to 7th. You know, contact going into the wall did not help her. It was on her friend.
Things she didn't necessarily... As she runs into the wall off of turn 1. Don't think she necessarily expected Brody Deshore to be that aggressive with the slide job on the opening corner of the race, and maybe caught out a little bit after that. All kind of trended downhill from there. 1 more lap to go, though. I think those top 2 pretty comfortable. Everyone else tripping over each other behind.
Yeah, this is a, you know, LCQ. You know, you got to establish yourself, especially in this bull ring tight track. You got to get out front. You got to be in the top couple, you know, positions, because it's tough to fight your way up through the pack.
And well,
I don't care how good you are.
These drivers behind will come back next week on the streets of Long Beach. A very, very different sort of a challenge to what they're experiencing right now. King almost sandwiched off the jump. But Brody Deshore, Keith Jeffrey, they are going to be smiling at the end of this LCQ. They have made their way to the main event and survived the craziness that is the Firebird Motorsports Park.
A great run there by Deshore and Jeffrey. Going to stay separate, you know, unfortunately, you know, that, but what a crazy LCQ. The contact again. You know, I expect the gloves come off, but my goodness.
And I think the second LCQ could be even more intense. The results show a bigger margin through the field. And so let's get ready to go with Deshore and Jeffrey moving forward. Everyone else watching from the sidelines. Van der Veer and Grady hoping to move forward. But Mason Prater, Dennis Mickelson, Brock Smith, Wes Graham, the rest of the top 6. With 7th going the way of Tyler Shattuck. Fouad Baran will line up alongside him on row 4 with Cooper, Scheiber, the rest of the 10. And will make their way into the battlegrounds, and the gloves have well and truly come off. We've gone from a proper fight with some rules to a bare knuckle brawl. And once again, keep an eye out through the opening corner. I think Brody Deshore, that move is what got him the lead and broke away with the victory.
Yeah, I'm not going to say bare knuckles. I'm going to say the brass knuckles came out with that one.
One step further.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool how you were talking about Long Beach, you know, with the Real Life Long Beach coming up here in April, and we're going to be running there. It's going to be very cool to, you know, see that.
I love Long Beach, but it again would be very cool if we could just drop some jumps around the track and bring even more excitement to it.
Call Robbie Gordon up and get a couple of the SSTE virtual ramps.
Maybe there's going to be some different lines being run through the fountain as well. It'll be very interesting to see how that all runs. And I think the best part about it, Dave, is A, it's a new thing for everybody, so it means there's a lot for everyone to learn. But B, setup-wise, I don't think anyone really knows exactly what's going to be competitive until we hit the track next week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure the guys have gone out there trying to run it, but you don't know, how do you judge? You know, I'm sure that some of the teams are going to go, you know, you don't have to at least go rent the track. You can just pop it up. But I'm sure some of the teams are working on their setups.
That's a good point. The cost of renting a track just to go and dial in a setup, you don't have to go through those lengths. So remember, 6 laps ready to get underway. Top 2 to advance. Everything else does not matter. No points in this race. The only points now to be paid out are for the 20 drivers in our main event, which again will have a competition caution at the end of lap number 11. 26 total laps. Going to be exciting to see if Connor Barry can continue his streak, 4 wins to open up the season, or if someone else will grab the first non-Barry victory of the year. First, 2 more drivers to make their way into the pack. Van der Veer and Grady up front, and a patient punch at the throttle finally from Van der Veer. Grady once again instantly under fire as Mason Prater gets his slide dog working. Brock Smith's going to try and battle as well alongside with Dennis Mikkelsen, and they are making contact on the entry up to turn 2. Prater's out of control. They're 3 wide down through turn 2.
Yeah, I think with Smith coming up behind helped Prater straighten out just a little bit there. Now Prater's getting pushed out wide, Grady, and I'll tell you, Mikkelsen with a nice move, then Van der Veer. But look at this, Smith up into 3rd as he gets by Madison Prater, trying to answer back as he's door to door, and slid by.
I think Mikkelsen ran off the track. Whoa. There, that is Fouad Baran. That's done a 180 in the middle of the pack with Tyler Shattuck getting involved as well. 37 spins it back around, just some fiberglass flying, but not as much chaos, all things considered, compared to the first LCQ. And Mason Prater is now on the charge with his sights set on the top 2.
Yeah, you definitely see these guys are looking at different lines coming around, trying to find a way to get up into that qualifying position. Grady, he's going to have to get his elbows about 10 feet wide because Prater's coming in fast.
You can see the gap between the pack starting to build. Prater's not focused too much on Brock Smith in the rearview mirror just yet. We're already on to that 3rd lap, though, so these laps ticking away pretty quickly. You know just how quick Mason...
locked on Grady.
And you know just how quick Mason can be as well.
Oh, yeah. It's been rough. I mean, he's been, battling, through things. And I'll tell you, this young man is a quick learner. He's a fast driver. He's just got to settle back into himself.
It's great to have the Impact Sim Sport team as a 3-driver effort now in the iRacing Short Course National Series, hoping to see Prater maybe find a bit more speed behind Tom Grady in that 5:35. But 2 more laps to go after this one. Still haven't seen that much evolution on the track, at least from what I'm seeing, Dave. We're not seeing as much sheen as I was expecting heading into the main event.
Yeah. I think turn 1 was just about all the excitement we're going to get, or heading out of turn number 1, I should say. Now it's pretty calm.
The calm before the storm, hopefully, in that main event, when we'll again throw 20 trucks. For the first time, we'll double the maximum field that we've had so far tonight. That was Van der Veer out wide for a moment. Doesn't quite close Grady enough to have a look, but enough to just compress those top 3 up once again. Prater's going to have to get desperate. 1 more lap to go at the line.
Yeah, kind of shocking. So you can see there's a little dust on the track there, and a little out of shape there for a second for Grady. Prater, unfortunately, not close enough. You can see it's a little dry conditions. You can see dust kicking up. We're not seeing a lot of blue groove yet. That's kind of a shocking thing. I mean, there's the glare, but you get that off a wet track, too.
Wonder if some of these drivers will head back out there in the warm-up and figure out if there's something to be found. Prater's found an opportunity, leans on Grady out of 2, down to 3.
Outside in, watch it. Here he goes. Bat, switch it up.
Oh, and
wide,
he got the bumper out there for sure. So race control will take a look, and so it's not done and dusted. It could be Mason Prater, it could be Tom Grady. One thing we know for sure: Cody Van der Veer is headed to the main event and the Farboat Motorsports Park.
Well, I can tell you this race was rather tame compared to the other ones.
Well, we still have something for our team to look at, so we might have a couple of moments before our main event before we can get racing underway. Van der Veer confirmed. Prater and Grady might be something race control deems worthy of promoting Grady instead of Prater, but we do know Brock Smith, Austin Shiver, Wes Graham, Tyler Shattuck, Carl Cooper, Fouad Baran, and Dennis Mikkelsen are done for the night.
Well, I can see if they're worthy or not. That's going to be the question.
So once again, a couple of minutes for our team to hold. And to quickly, in this 3-minute warm-up, go and review all of that. I think the other thing that we're going to see right now is, like I said, a couple of the drivers go out there, Dave, and figure out how the track's evolved since their heats.
It's kind of crazy. I'm looking at the track. It's looked pretty much the same. It really, like I said, we're not seeing the blue grid. We're seeing a lot of shine. Now, that happens a lot, too, when it's like the early morning. Because they're jumping in the sun. They're heading up, around turn number 2. And if it's track's wet and it's cool, I'm not sure what the track temperature's at, but it's not deteriorating that bad.
The iRacing weather system was added a couple of years ago, brought rain to the sim. Now, we don't have that for these trucks, but it did slightly influence how temperatures change and even how the surface develops as well. So these drivers have had the last 12 to 18 months to figure all of that out. Still waiting to hear what Race Controls had to say, but this is one thing that is very stressful. Whether you're in the real and the virtual world, time pressure on a decision, Dave, that's the last thing Race Control wants to hear.
Oh, yeah, believe me, I've been up there several times when, spotters and family members are arguing with Race Control and, the stress of them going on and 3 different opinions. It's tough. You got to get everybody to agree.
I mean, if you've got 3 drivers, that means you've got 3 opinions, right?
Yeah. 3 spotters who tell you they saw something different.
Exactly. 3
and it's never their fault.
It's never my fault, Dave. I'm a racing driver.
So we our trophy carts back in the day, and you talked about the mod kit, but went on with the Junior 1, Junior 2s. I would compare them to soccer parents.
They even say that in the documentary.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's... I've seen fistfights.
Wow.
I've seen shoving. I've seen drinks thrown in people's faces.
Passionate parents, and that's the one thing all sports have in common. The difference between soccer and your kids racing, whether it's on the dirt or the asphalt, is racing's expensive.
I was just going to say, the wallet is the difference.
Yeah. So
unless you're doing travel soccer or travel teams, which I hear is expensive.
I have heard that, especially nowadays when the U.S. is huge, right? So you have to travel across the country every week. That adds up. I've also
can't jump on a train.
Well, you could. It might just take a while, though.
Yeah.
Schedule your tournaments accordingly. I haven't heard anything from Race Control, which I think means they're probably still working on this, but we're going to get confirmation now as we get ready to grid up. Confirmed, Cody Vanderveer and Mason Prater make their way on forward, so no Race Control intervention for that last lap pass.
It didn't look dirty to me. It looked good.
Race Control agrees. Drake Mittag, Cody Winicki, they get the opportunity on the front row with the top 8. Invert, Drapkin and Dashley, row 2, with Knupp and Swain hoping to try and make their way up to victory lane from row 3. Tyson Miller and Connor Barry, 7th and 8th positions, winner of Heat 1 and 2 respectively, with Edmondson Countryman. And then Plumley and Briley, the rest of the top 12. 16 made it forward from their heat, so Lindy, McFarlane, Winkler, and Brent Smith have been watching from the sidelines, while Brody DeSure, Cody Vanderveer, and then Keith Jeffrey, Mason Prater did it through the LCQs the long way into this main event. 26 laps, caution at the end of lap 11. Let's get ready for some chaos.
Yeah, this is going to be, you're going to talk about drivers just squeaking their way through, and I'm sure nail biting, like you said, the Race Control was just probably, there was a lot of heated discussions going on.
And it's the one benefit of being in the virtual world is that you can place a camera anywhere at any time, even 30 minutes after the incident took place, right? Whereas, I'm sure it's the case in the dirt world, but I've seen some lower level Formula series where sometimes they only have CCTV footage of an incident, and that's how they have to try and figure out what happened.
Well, we shot everything. We were live on Lucas Oil Racing TV, and of course we do a live line cut, which would be for the back in the day for the CBS Sports Show. So we had 6, depending on the track, 6 to 7 cameras. So the director could pull up any one of those feeds and went right to race control. Our 3 officials would stand around that and would all watch it, and they would say, okay, back it up 3 seconds. And they would literally watch every moment, even how the wheel turned. Oh, he intentionally turned into him. You could see the wheel turn. They had, and we had some live cameras too for in cars. So they would actually pull up in cars and see if the guy actually, went for the motion to turn into somebody.
Nice. That's what you really want to be able to have when you're reviewing incidents. But hopefully, not too much incidents as we get ready to go. 26 laps on the board for round 4 of the iRacing Short Course National Pro 4s. Underway from the Far Road Motorsports Park, and Drake Mittag does not hang around. Gets us launched off into the opening corner. Zachary Drapkins leaning on Cody Winicki. They're almost 3 wide behind. Keep an eye out for Knupp, Swain, and Barry looking to fight their way to the front early doors.
And right in that start zone, you can see Mittag was right on the gas there. Now it looks like Drapkin and Luke Knupp door to door. Trenton Briley trying to fight there. It looks like also, look at this 3 wide, 4 wide going through there. You guys are stacking it up here out of turn number 3 through those whoops. Great overhead shot as they come around, come across the stripe, put lap number 1 in the books.
Connor Barry still down in 8th position. He has not made any moves on this opening lap. Luke Knupp's already gone to 3rd. He's a man on a mission right now. Only Winicki and Mittag in front of him. Drapkin's got some pressure from Dashalet as well. Remember, 3rd in the championship coming into the night, and Nicholas Dashalet grabs 4th away from the 56.
Yeah, it looks like somebody just went up on their lid there. Wasn't sure who that was. Bright yellow truck.
Matthew Lindy in the KES Industries 333, yes.
Oh. Wrong place, wrong time. And you see Connor. Connor knows there's 26 laps. Just, okay, pick a couple off, and then when you get to the halfway mark, that's when you really start charging. Let these guys fight it out, take it out. But, man, I'll tell you, you got Tyson Miller in front of you, too. That's one of his nemesis in this track right now. We saw the times.
Josh Edmondson also sitting in pit lane. Christopher Plumley, a technical issue for him before the race got underway. So that's 17, still out there and running. Don't think anyone's going to be fighting back onto the lead lap after that competition caution. Remember, end of lap 11 will pack the field back up. Connor Barry still yet to make a move. Behind him, Dad Countryman just got in front of Evan McFarlane. So that's up now into 9th position. This look at the replay, how Lindy goes up and over.
Yeah, it looks like Lindy just caught that K-rail there. And boy, he just got beat up on that one.
The hits just kept coming there, and eventually on his lid, not much that he could do. Down into 3, still watching just on the edge of the top 10 as Zachary Drapkin in the red line, all 56, is trying to find a way past Keaton Swain, who's also on the back of Nicholas Dashalet. Mittag's running a very good race right now, not feeling too much pressure, even as Luke Knupp closes on the top 2.
Well, I think Winicki right now is going into a little protection mode there, trying to hold off Luke Knupp. And that's allowing Drake just to kind of, walk away just a little bit, here and there. He's got the gap.
3 tenths between the top 2, so only a car length or 2. End of lap 5 this time by, so 6 or so more before we get to that competition caution. That restart's going to be interesting as well. Mittag was very early to punch the throttle on the initial start of this main event. Did he catch Cody Winicki out and maybe play some games with backing up the rest of the field with Knupp, Dashalet, Swain, the rest of that top 5. Riding with the Terminator, Drapkin sets up for turn 2, but that door's left open. Here comes the factory SimSport machine.
Yeah, that's right. Drapkin left it a little wide there, but Drapkin, let's see, he's going to overshoot and Miller's going to go right underneath. And it looks like that. Unfortunately, Connor was trying to get in there. Now Connor's trying to go up the inside. Let's see if he can keep it, and he's going to delegate right to his bumper again.
He's not looking like he wants to put too much of the elbows out. He's looking like a driver that knows he's won 3 rounds already this year, and he's got a championship lead he's got to start to protect.
Well, and everybody's got their eyes on him, too. Yeah, that's when, when you're winning like that, one thing is you got to run clean races. So if you have a tough race, that could erase how you just killed it. So you got to stay clean. You got to drive good, and that's what Connor's doing. Drapkin, trying to hold off the advances of Connor while he's trying to trace down the Terminator. I think it's slowing Drapkin down a little bit.
It's a nice little race, but yeah, definitely slowing these drivers down. Keaton Swain's being held up by Nicholas Dachelet here as he's starting to work on the back of the 23. Gets to the inside, up towards the final corner. Still Luke Knupper's not really closed on those top two just yet, though.
No, Connor's gone up a position there to 7th there. Miller's at 6th, Swain at 5th. Now, Swain with how many days?
1,131. There you go.
But Swain definitely is, looking to get that monkey off his back also. He's sitting back there in 5th position. You got Dachelet, Knupp with Nicky Matag. This is going to be a whole other race in the second half. After that concussion comes out, they restack and re-rack. We're going to see some movers.
I think that's the thing where it's all just waiting for us to get to the other side of that. So make it 2 more laps. We're on to the 10th lap of this main event. Mittag still leads, Winnicki second. Connor Barry has only made 1 move so far this race. Mason Prater's gained 7 spots, so has Cody Vanderveer. Front of the field though, Cody Winnicki's decided heading into that comp caution, it's time to make the moves. Luke Knupp's joined the fight, 3 within 7/10 through the final corner.
And I saw a little net coating going on there by Matag for a minute out of turn number 2. Looks like he's pretty solid now. His connection with Nicky definitely is right on his tail, but Luke Knupp starting to turn that pressure up. And look at these top 3. They are breaking away. Unfortunately, a couple more laps, they're all going to change when they rack them again.
Connor Barry has now indeed gone and passed at least 1 more driver, so that's good to see for him. He's up to 6, although Miller's dropped down to 9. Is there going to be a bit of chopping and changing between these 3 up front, though? Is Luke Knupp going to look through the final corner to find a way past Cody Winnicki? Answer is no. It's going to be Mittag that leads at the competition caution. Keaton Swain's gone around the outside of Nicholas Dachelet to make his way up to 4th just before we slow things down. And now pack the field back up.
Now, this is where it's going to get interesting on the restart. Turn 1 and turn 2, these are where positions are going to be had on the first of the restart.
So
this track is famous for that.
Looking at the timing right now, we might actually get a couple of drivers getting a lap back. I see Christopher Plumley's out there 3 laps down. Trenton Briley's actually just gone to pit lane on this particular lap, so not quite sure what's happened to him. Edmondson and Lindy, though, confirmed as DNFs. There is the leader at the comp caution. Someone who's going to be delighted with how things have gone so far.
Yeah, it's a shame for Lindy and Edmondson. I'm kind of bummed to see those. I like to see those drivers up there fighting for it, too. Swain, though, he's up to 4th. He's going to be trying. I guarantee you're going to see Swain and Knupp making a run on Winnicki and Matag. And out of turn 1 and 2. That's my kind of my prediction on that one. I think Matag is really going to have to protect his lines. He's going to have to be perfect.
I think this restart's going to be pretty insane. It's going to be one where Mittag's going to have seen how that initial start went, how early he was able to get the jump, and what it did to everyone behind. I love these overhead shots as well, Dave. It shows how compact these tracks really are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it shows you. Look at them around the outside of that entire turn. That's pretty awesome to see. But it's a tight turn. I mean, it's 180 degrees. My goodness.
Just got word.
And especially turn number 3, too.
Just got word from race control. Briley and Lindy have too much damage to continue, so they join Edmondson as being DNFs, but ready to go. I have no idea who's going to win this one, Dave. This could go any which way.
I agree. I mean, I'd love to see Matag, stay where he's at. I mean, seeing this young man to progress the way he has, awesome. But, I'd love to see Keith Swain to get that 1,100 or whatever days off his back.
Just so we can stop mentioning at this point. So, we pack the field back up. They are single file. Does look as though Briley and Plumley have rejoined at the tail end, so should be interesting with them. But Mittag and Winnicki up front, ready to rumble. Where's Knupp? Where's Swain? And where's Barry? 3rd, 4th, and 6th, respectively, for our main championship favorites on board with Knupp up to turn 2.
And here we go. Up into turn 2, up the inside. There goes Knupp. Where's Swain? Swain's a little bit deeper in the field. I expect him to be. Dachelet. Also, Connor still sitting in that 6th position.
Keaton Swain's up to third. He looks the long way around, but I think that was always something that wasn't going to work out. I think we're going to be in for something all the way to the end here. If Mittag can run some defensive lines, Winicki's going to be forced to make a decision. Does he bump the leader out of the way, or does he get overwhelmed potentially by those behind? Dashley Barry, you've got to keep an eye out on Zachary Drapkin because he's thinking about joining the fight as well. Look at him go around the outside. He's going to challenge Barry to turn 3.
And challenge him he does there. You can see also Winicki trying to make a move up the inside. You see Knupp now back to third place there. A little bit of contact coming through. You know, the more you rub, the more you contact. It actually takes a little bit of that power away from you. You can see Mittag looking up the inside. It's Knupp. Knupp with a slide job. He's going to take it up against the wall again, but a good run by Drake. Oh my goodness, and holds on to it.
And that's how you use the wall to hold the speed. That's a bump, though, from Cody Winicki as he tries to cover off Luke Knupp. This is all sorts of craziness. Knupp's out of sorts. He's got the inside down to turn 3. Winicki for a moment had the race lead, but Mittag fights his way back on through. Dashley's joined the party as well. Keaton Swain's up to third. Look any which way.
It's a great little run there again. Swain now side by side, battling for that third position. Knupp back to second, but look at this. Down the inside, Dashley trying to make a move. Couldn't pull it off there. You can see Knupp taking a big run there on Winicki. And you can see Connor Berry now trying to slide up. Can he get another position there? He's up at 5th, now back to 6th. And back to 5th again.
Look any which way and things are changing. That comp caution, this is what it does. We have one of these in every single one of our regular season rounds. Knupp and Swain have dropped back to 3rd and 4th. Quite remarkable that Mittag and Winicki are holding up so strong at the front of the field. Barry leans on Drapkin, looks up the inside through turn 1, but the slide drop comes from Thad Countryman.
And Countryman with a beautiful run there. How about that there, Drapkin. And now Connor Berry has to fight with Countryman. And you can see Connor now battling with Zach Drapkin. Berry look up the inside there.
That was Dashley tagging the back of Countryman into the braking zone. Somehow did not concertina up and collect everybody as well. Less than 10 to go. Does seem as though it's the front 4 that are starting to pull away. Drapkin and Barry continue to squabble amongst themselves. They're not letting themselves fight for the podium spots.
Yeah, the crazy thing is watching, of course, Dashley. He went all the way up to 2nd for a second. And now look at him back there to, he was 8th, now 7th.
That timing.
Continue to watch Connor Berry gets by Drapkin there. This time trying to get his sight set up on, it looks like Swain with a good run there. There's a good gap back there, and we still got a good number of laps here to make it happen. The physicality is not over with yet.
That timing tower was lit up at one point when everyone was moving every which way, but stabilized a little bit more since then as we jump on board with Swain. As mentioned, of course, Gilbert, Arizona home, 20 minutes or so away from the track. Hasn't been able to fight his way forward just yet. So 7 laps to go next time by. 7 more laps for Drake Mittag to hold on. He's done a great job so far.
I'm afraid to say his name here. Mittag is doing an incredible job there, I gotta say, when Nicky's making a good run. It's keeping him honest, that's for sure. Knupp being back there when Nicky cannot afford to make any mistakes. Now Swain definitely is going to try and turn up the pressure on Knupp here, because Knupp definitely is sight set on Winicki. You can see he's all over him. Somebody's going to leave a door open on the inside, I have a feeling.
Cody
One of these
Winicki.
laps here with these guys so battling.
For Cody Winicki, remember 5th in the championship, being a pretty good start to his championship run so far. It's just another illustration of the fact that as much as we have had some drivers consistently at the top every year, expect some new drivers to make sure they improve their speed once again. Knupp's going to try and lean again on the 9. 6 laps to go. Barry's got his way up to 5th as well, slowly, quietly climbing his way through the field. Point situation is going to see Barry hold the championship lead. Luke Knupp's not going to make significant inroads here today.
Yeah, only one driver separating Knupp, and Barry is not going to give him that big points increase, but every little point matters. A little chip here, a little chip there, definitely helps.
Off the wall once again. Do they run that line in the real world, Dave?
pretty close to it. Not to that being that dramatic, I should say.
Be a bit more aggressive with it in the sim world, I guess. Here's Luke Knapp trying to take his move and an opportunity to get up to second. Through the whoops they go. Winicki gets bullied, so Knapp's got the move done. He's up to second, and now make that 4 laps to work on the back of Drake Mittag here at Firebird.
Now, there was one driver, a Pro 2 driver, Robbie Woods, that actually ran that entire wall to try and go for a pass on Carl Renault Center one time. It almost worked.
Keaton Swain's also passed Cody Winicki, so he's dropped from second to fourth. Swain's going to try and get involved in that fight between those top two. There's a couple of car lengths they've opened up on this lap. Connor Barry not yet able to find his way past Cody Winicki, but as we sat on board with the championship leader, red plates on his machine as well. 3 laps to go, and Drake Mittag is now feeling that pressure up to turn 2.
Yeah, I can see Luke Knapp's right on him. He's going to go try to jump to the inside. Once again, you can see he's going to go for the pass here. Oh, that's the same move we saw earlier by Mason Prater.
The momentum ground to a halt for Drake Mittag, and so now he's concerned a bit about where Keaton Swain's going to go. Luke Knapp's fought his way up to the front of the field and will try and break away with the 2 final laps left. On board with Barry, looks around the outside of Cody Winicki for a second. This is still anyone's game at the front of the field.
And you can see right now Barry's looking all over, looking for a little daylight.
Big slide job from Cody Winicki, blocked off Swain for a moment, but as we get ready to head on to the final lap, Knapp versus Mittag, they've broken away from the 3 fighting for the final step on the podium.
Yeah, there's definitely one for the books for sure. Luke Knapp making a great run. Drake Mittag, though, still holding on to it. You know, with 2 laps to go, it's going to be interesting. Oh, there's the white flag. 1 lap to go.
Final lap of the race. Drake Mittag has won before in the regional series, but never in the national series. He's alongside of Knapp up to turn 2. There was some contact between them on the previous couple of laps. No contact this time by. Hard, respectful racing between the drivers at the front of the field. What a move from Drake Mittag. Carves his way up the middle, and as Keaton Swain moves his way to second, Drake Mittag is going to hold on. Contact for second and third slows the momentum of the 21. First time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series. Take a bow, Drake Mittag.
What an absolutely beautiful move coming out of that right-hander. Yeah, I saw him go real wide and knew he was going to dive inside, so Keaton Swain tried to get it in there. Drake had it just timed perfectly, slid right up the center there. And like you said, the contact between Winicki and, between Knapp and Swain actually slowed them down, and that allowed Drake to slingshot across that finish line.
This is the replay.
Watch this. Super wide to the inside, thread the needle through the uprights. Beautiful move. Textbook.
And without that contact, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a photo finish or not. Keaton had some more momentum. Could have been a photo finish in the air. But 1/4 of a second, the margin at the line, and a first-time winner in the National Series. What a happy Impact Sim Sport 518 we're going to speak to in a few moments' time. Keaton Swain second, and then Luke Knapp third. Barry and Drac in the rest of the top 5. Connor Barry, for the first time this season, not in victory lane. With Cody Winicki, Thad Countryman, Nicholas Dachelet, Mason Prater, and Cody Vanderveer, the top 10 in field. It's Tyson Miller, Evan McFarlane, and then Brody DeShore within 10 seconds of the leader. It's 12.3 seconds back for Brent Smith, 1 lap down for everyone barring then Trenton Briley, as Jeffrey, Plumley, Winkler, Edmondson, and Lindy don't see the end of this race.
So very cool. I just got a message from Dave Peace, one of our former Lucas Oil officials, and he says, man, that was exciting. So that's very cool to see that they're watching this, and shout out to you, Dave.
Appreciate your company here on a Wednesday night. I tell you what, let's go chat with our race winner, Drake Mittag, standing by with Dave.
Oh my goodness, Drake Mittag. What an incredible race. I tell you, you really had to fight your way into this one, but talk about this race. I mean, from the green flag drop and that great reaction on the start.
Yeah, it's pretty good to be in this Discord call right now. All the boys over at like Channel 199 Racecraft and Impact Sim Sport, we're all like one big happy team, and we've been putting in a lot of work. And didn't expect this one. Got slightly lucky on the invert. You know, there was some team efforts played by some other drivers, and I was able to hold them off and got it done in the heat and got the invert for the main and never looked back. I definitely had some help, Cody. I don't have, you know, the insane pace like some of these guys like Connor Berry and all them, but Cody and I tried our best out there, and we got it done.
Yeah, it was awesome. Let's talk about the race. You're out, you're running it there with Nikki, then you got Knupp. You lose the lead with a couple laps to go. What was going through your mind?
I don't know, man. I think as soon as I got past, I immediately looked behind me and was worried about, you know, who else was behind me, who was right there, and Keaton was. But I actually had a pretty good last 2 laps, and I was able to close on Luke and gave him a little bit of the door, so I get side by side and crossed him up into the right-hander. So definitely put in the effort for this one, and have all season just have had pretty bad luck. But pumped to get it done, and on to the next one.
Yeah, I meant to say Swain. Sorry about that. But here's the thing I have for you. Coming out of turn number 2, you're fighting back there. You got Swain. You know, you went really wide. Swain, you knew he was going to go to the inside because you knew he was going to have to make a last-ditch effort. Then you got Knupp. Did you just say that, did the waters just part for you? I mean, to thread the eye of a needle like that, I mean, how'd you just come up with that?
Honestly, I've seen, you know, tons of people. I mean, I've seen it all my life in real life, and I've seen tons of people try it in iRacing, but in order to get it done, you have to keep your speed on the entrance. So I just went wide on the entrance and shot underneath, and it worked out.
Oh, an awesome job, young man. Very excited for you. I've been able now to talk to your dad, your brother, and you, you know, in real life, and now you here in your first win in the National Series here in iRacing, and I know you got some people to thank.
Yeah, definitely everyone over at Impact Sim Sport, Channel 199, Josh and Connor, you know, teaching me the ropes, and now that we're able to, you know, get it done, definitely it's no small feat against the best in this you know, industry, and pumped.
Well, good job. Congratulations once again, Drake Matag taking his first ever win. And I do believe you got second place sitting there with us with Luke Knupp.
We have Keaton Swain instead, who finished second place indeed.
I'm sorry, second, yes.
Keaton, talk to me about that run to the checkered flag, because that looked incredible. I mean, you were third going into the penultimate corner, saw your opportunity and get your way up to second.
Yeah, that was a crazy race. I liked where I was there coming to the final lap, being in third. I knew Luke was going to be aggressive, trying to get a win there, and was kind of hoping. I think I would have had a shot diving back down to the inside, coming off of 4 there, coming to the checkers, but Luke just got into me a tad and stalled me out. So I think that kind of ruined maybe a little bit of a drag race for the win, but we'll still take a second after that crazy race. I mean, there was things going everywhere. So a little bit of a beat up truck too, trying to bring it home and not get run over from behind. And, you know, everyone from behind was coming as well. So to finish second in that, you know, after starting 6th, we'll definitely take it.
I've got to ask you, what was the track evolution like between qualifying and the end of that race? Because we were sitting up here and wondering, just from looking at the track, how much blue groove was actually developing.
Yeah, it was definitely blue grooved. Obviously, with that many trucks on the track, and I think it started at like 20%. So it actually didn't dry out as bad as it's been here before. I thought it was going to be worse, but yeah, definitely. It helped the racing, you know, it made it a little bit more interesting with having to find some different lines to get your truck to rotate. So as tough as it can be, it does help the racing a little bit.
Well, congratulations, Keaton, on a great event. Hoping next week from Long Beach, we see even more from you.
Yeah, thank you. I just got to thank everyone at Sim Coaches, everyone on my team, Factory Sim Sport, all of Connor's sponsors, and you guys for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Great to catch up with Keaton. One final interview as Dave Arnold standing by with Luke Knupp.
Luke, an incredible race out there. I know it's all about points. You're sitting back a little bit from Connor. I know every position helps chip away at that lead. Well, let's talk about this race. I mean, it looked a little frustrating because you guys are so close in competition right now and your speeds are so close. Is it enjoyable to race like that with the competition, or was it a little frustrating because like I used to be a lot faster than these guys?
It's really enjoyable, but I'm just mad that I just completely lost that race in the last corner. I never do that. I'm always really good at protecting, and I just let it slip away after working my butt off to get up to the lead. But to go back to your point, yes, it's difficult. I may have been the worst out of everyone coming into the season. I barely did any laps, and then I'm not up to date with anything, so I'm just coming from the 8-ball, but it's a bummer.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up there about that, but turn number 3, the setup there, what was going through your mind there? I mean, you had Keaton was coming down in, and then all of a sudden there's Matag right between you.
Yeah, I thought I had enough of a gap going on in the last lap, so I didn't really protect going into turn 1, and then next thing I know, he's on my door, and I thought I could defend him out of 2. He was on my door, and I was trying to just brake tap a little bit to keep him back out there. But and then I just slid into the turn, trying to rotate as much as I can to get a good exit, and he slid under and did it textbook. I mean, he couldn't have done it better. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, I know. Like Greg said, we've seen it in real life there several times. I know you guys did it back in the mod kart days too. And it's one of those things, I'm so used to you protecting that inside. And it was just kind of shocking you left that big of a door for it. But it's finding that faster way through too. It's not always what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I usually do protect that, and 99 out of 100 times I would have, but I thought I had enough of I thought he was still out on my door. I hadn't heard that I was clear yet, and he was definitely clear, and he went for it, and I give him mad props. Definitely still happy with the result. We showed a lot of good speed, and I think still ended up gaining some points, maybe. I don't know. But hopefully it brings us back into the points battle into Long Beach next week.
Well, looking forward to see how you're going to run at Long Beach. I mean, everybody's pretty much, I know we've ran them in Pro 2s and other little series we had, but this will be interesting trying to find the setup for all you guys in Pro 4s on the streets of Long Beach.
Yeah, I'm excited to go into it because the only time the series has gone to Long Beach, I ended up winning. So I have a little bit of knowledge going into it. I actually find the trucks to be really fun on the road courses. Takes a lot of skill, and you have to be really smooth, and that's something I'm really good at. So excited to go into that, excited to start testing. Got another short week, but I like the short weeks. I think it makes the racing, like you said, tighter, and I think it completely showed tonight. So excited into Long Beach and see what the rest of the season unfolds. But a huge thanks to APV Simulator. Stepped up big. My first podium with them. Should have been a win, but we'll take it. Team Gold Esports for everything they do. And Impact, Race Gear, and everyone else. Thank you guys.
Well, congratulations, Luke, up P3 there, finishing up, got some points. Hopefully we'll see how it shakes out, and we'll see you in Long Beach, my friend.
Looking forward to it. Long Beach, like we said, some of these drivers do have some experience, but going to be a lot of unknowns for us. It also marks the halfway mark of the championship. We'll have one more back-to-back round after that before these drivers do get a few weeks off. But Dave, I think these drivers have had a hectic start to this championship season, and boy, what a finish here from Firebird.
Yeah, the Firebird did not disappoint. The bull ring always brings exciting racing. It looked a little tame when we first started out, but boy, oh boy, did this get good. And I'll tell you, we got a new subscriber. I just talked to another friend of mine, and we're seeing people are going, man, this brings me back to the old days. So can't wait to move on to Long Beach and see what people think of these things on the streets. Tearing it up.
And we know these drivers, they can do it in the real world as well for many of them. They've got plenty of experience. They bring it into the virtual world. There's a look at the calendar. Live from the streets of Long Beach, 6 p.m. Pacific on March 26th. Join us for all of that here live on RaceBot TV on the iRacing Short Course channel. It's going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure, as we swap the dirt for some asphalt. But it's going to be Drake Mittag who grabs his very first victory in the iRacing Short Course National Series, doing it in style at the Firebird Motorsports Park.